The justice gap in Middle Georgia is large. We have a lot of unmet legal needs in our community and a lot of people going to court in civil cases without an attorney. This hurts their cases and clogs up the courts. We wanted to do something about this. When Middle Georgia justice was just an idea, we sought guidance and support from some key legal players in our local legal community. Middle Georgia is fortunate to have Mercer Law School, a regional office of Georgia Legal Services Program, and two strong bar associations, the Macon Bar Association and the Houston Bar Association. Their involvement is essential to any plan to close the justice gap. To that end, our board of directors includes members from the law school, Georgia Legal Services, and the Macon Bar, and a member of the Houston Bar is about to join our board. Now, you're about to hear from the Mercer Law School Dean, Kathy Cox, one of our board members, and Emily Botchin, a third-year law student who has worked at Middle Georgia Justice. Mercer Law students have been active with us from the time we opened our office. They get excellent experience as they provide important help to the people we serve. Next, you will then hear from Tamika Daniel, the managing attorney for our local Georgia Legal Services office and also a board member. Georgia Legal Services is a critically important resource in our community, but they cover 23 counties and just cannot help everyone who seeks their assistance. Our goal is to complement Georgia Legal Services by taking on cases they are not able to handle. One way we can do this is by turning to local lawyers to be volunteers. The bar associations provide a ready means to seek such assistance. So you will also hear from our board member, Veronica McClendon, who is the president of the Macon Bar Association.
Hello, I'm Kathy Cox. I'm the dean here at Mercer Law School, and thank you for joining us for a little conversation about Middle Georgia Justice. As many of you know, Middle Georgia Justice was founded back in 2017 as a collaboration of a number of organizations. Mercer Law School was a part of it, but so was Georgia Legal Services Program here in Macon, the Macon Bar Association, and we all came together around this great idea that Judge Bill Adams had about serving the greater legal needs of our community. We started out with the law school being a part of it because first we thought with all these lawyers, certainly we could be a part in addressing the legal needs of the community, but we also knew that it could be a wonderful learning opportunity for our current students and for our recent graduates, and that's exactly what it has turned out to be. Since its inception, Middle Georgia Justice has had an incubator program. As it has worked out, several of our fairly recent graduates have become part of the incubator program, in which they start working in the Middle Georgia Justice office, but in essence, they've started their own law practices. They take on their own clients, but they agree to handle a proportion of work pro bono, work that just comes in the door to Middle Georgia Justice, and they agree to handle that at no cost in order to help serve the greater needs in the community. We've had a number of our graduates already go through the incubator program and graduate onto managing their own law practices out in the private sector. But we also have had a number of our current law students interning and externing at Middle Georgia Justice and getting real hands-on experience, many times for their first opportunity to meet with clients and to see exactly what they can do as lawyers in the future. They've been able to work in Middle Georgia Justice's Family Law Self-Help Center, where they are able to help people come into the center and do a little bit to handle their own matters in family law areas and work those through the judicial system. They've been able to work on helping people who needed to get their criminal histories expunged from their record. There are certain opportunities for people to do that. They've been able to help people in filling out probate forms and other property-related forms that people, again, can do most of the work themselves, but they need a little guidance, and our students are able to guide some of that process. Our students are also going to have a greater opportunity, we think, in the coming year to work on a grant-funded opportunity at Middle Georgia Justice that will enable them to work on an heirs property initiative that will help them clear and clean up a lot of titles to property in the Macon and Middle Georgia area. This will allow people then to get loans where they might want to make repairs to their home or to buy and sell property. And ultimately, this works to the benefit of improving a lot of neighborhoods in Macon and Middle Georgia. So all in all, you can see this has been a really great experience for Mercer Law School to be a partner with Middle Georgia Justice. I sit on the board of directors and am happy and proud to see all of the ways we've been able to reach out and serve a greater segment of the population with their legal needs. But I'm especially happy that our law students are getting to be there and get their hands around the real issues that are facing people in this community. So I'd like you to hear about that experience firsthand from one of our students, a third-year student, Emily Botchin. She comes from Eatonton, Georgia, which is, of course, right up the road from Macon. She started as an intern at Middle Georgia Justice last fall and has continued to work from time to time in the office, but she's had such a great experience learning, seeing firsthand what it's like to serve clients. So I'd like to introduce you now to Emily Botchin and let you hear from her about the experience that she's had at Middle Georgia Justice.
So I interned with Middle Georgia Justice last fall. I got to sit in on the client screening meetings every week and learn a little bit about the individuals coming in, what their problems were, how we could help them, if we had to refer them, if it was something that we could handle within the office, and I would assist with that. I also got to assist the incubator attorneys with their various areas of practice, which were family law, immigration, and criminal defense. So I got a little experience in a few areas.
That's terrific. What did you learn about the legal needs of the area?
So in Middle Georgia in particular, there's a big need for family law. Most of the clients I feel like that we saw usually needed some help with family law, whether it was just divorce, legitimation, child support, sometimes custody, all of those types of things. But there are also some property issues, as you mentioned before, where some people just needed some help maybe clearing up title or working out a will and things like that.
Has the experience of working in an office like Middle Georgia Justice, how has that impacted your study of law?
Well, it's given me a little bit more direction as far as what I wanted to study. Coming to law school, I didn't know exactly what kind of lawyer I wanted to be when I left. But Middle Georgia Justice sort of directed me and helped me kind of find that passion for legal aid in general, particularly in Middle Georgia. And so I was able to choose my classes from that, but I also got a lot of experience, more practical experience with how to talk to clients, how to update them, learn about their needs, and really just some of the paperwork, the forms, the petitions, all of those types of things.
Were you surprised at the quantity of need in Middle Georgia? Is there a lot of legal need in Georgia, in Middle Georgia?
Yes, especially in this area. There are 2 other organizations that we would work with that also try to provide legal aid, but their areas are also focused and restricted by funding or other criteria. And so even with those agencies doing everything that they can, there's still more need than even we can handle right now.
Have you encouraged some of your classmates to come and work at Middle Georgia Justice?
I have. I've tried. Especially now the biggest opportunity is helping with the self-help center. Clients who maybe just have uncontested issues or have no property, no children, nothing crazy to divide, who can file their own divorces or file their own legitimations. And so the opportunity for law students is to go in and sit down with the clients, help them fill out the paperwork, and usually tell them how to file it. But really just getting that firsthand client experience and just working on those forms with them, I think, is some really good hands-on experience as a law student.
That's terrific. As you can see, there's really nothing better in preparing young lawyers for the real world than putting them in a great classroom experience, and then letting them apply what they've learned in a real life setting, as Emily has had at Middle Georgia Justice. We're trying to do what we can to reach out and serve these serious legal needs in the Middle Georgia area. I hope that you will join us in that partnership and support the efforts of what we're trying to do at Middle Georgia Justice. Your contributions to Middle Georgia Justice will help us reach a larger audience and serve larger needs. So thank you for joining us in this conversation today, and thank you for your support.
We all want to help people access justice in the best way possible. Our office gets slammed. We cover 23 counties in the Middle Georgia area, and right now we have 6 attorneys. So you can kind of imagine there's a much greater need than what we have capacity for. And so when Judge Adams had the idea to try to merge those two to build the bridge and help more clients, it just made perfect sense. So a prime example is if an unrepresented litigant files their own documents and they file them incorrectly, they don't complete the paperwork properly, they don't have it in the correct format, their filing is going to basically be dismissed. Whereas if they go through Middle Georgia Access to Justice, they have someone who's walking them through the completion of the paperwork, they're reviewing the paperwork, and then assisting them with filing the paperwork, so that we've bridged that gap already. We don't have the problem with the paperwork or the packet not being correctly presented. And once it's presented, most of those cases are just going to be pushed through the court system, and the divorces will be granted. Whereas if they filed on their own and it was incorrect, it gets kicked out, and then they've lost their filing fee, and that person has to start all over again. And so for someone who already had limited funds, now I'm out, $200, $300, and I got to do it all over again, and I have to pay again. That can be very burdensome for those clients. The majority of what we do is represent victims of domestic violence. So you have someone who's in a violent relationship, we maybe help them get a protective order, but now they need a divorce so that they can finally separate from that relationship. If they didn't have Middle Georgia Justice there to assist them with that final step of that process, there's a possibility that that victim may feel that I gotta go back to my abuser because I have no other way. I can't afford to get a divorce. I don't know how to do this. And so they might be stuck in a relationship they didn't have to be stuck in because they simply didn't know that there was help available. So they step in and they help break free that person from that violent relationship who might have otherwise been stuck because she thought she had no choice. So we've had people that have had issues with their vehicles. They do basically civil cases. They may assist with housing. Right now that's a big topic with the housing evictions being what they are. And they have people that will step in and help represent someone to prevent them from being evicted. Wrongfully evicted, I will say. They're not just going to take any old case. They're going to look at the merits of the case and determine, okay, your landlord violated federal law and they can't do this. And so having someone to be able to, number one, know what the law is and then step in for that person and advocate for them helps keep them from being homeless. And that's one less person on the street. I think it's been an awesome relationship. So it serves a great role for law students to kind of come in and get some experience in working with clients. It has definitely filled a hole in our area. Most of our calls are about divorces or custody cases, and we don't currently do them at Georgia Legal Services in the Macon office. So it's great to be able to send a client upstairs or to give them this number to Middle Georgia Access to Justice and connect them with someone who should be able to assist them with that problem.
My name is Veronica McClendon, and I serve on the board for Middle Georgia Justice. I also happen to serve as the president of the Macon Bar Association this year. From the very beginning, Middle Georgia Justice knew that it was important to have someone from the Macon Bar Association Executive Committee to serve as a representative on Middle Georgia Justice's board. The reason for this is that the Macon Bar Association is the volunteer bar association for attorneys practicing in the Macon area. As a result, a significant number of Macon Bar Association members serve as the volunteer pool for Middle Georgia Justice. In addition, a lot of our attorneys serve as a large part of the financial donors. So it's very important to have Middle Georgia Justice and Macon Bar Association working together to help to ensure the success of Middle Georgia Justice. Macon Bar Association We strive to support our attorneys to make sure that they have the resources and information that they need to serve their clients effectively. And one way we do this is by connecting them with pro bono resources. Not only does it provide the attorneys an opportunity to volunteer, but it provides a resource that they can refer their clients to or prospective clients to who may not have the resources to hire an attorney at full cost. So it's always nice as a private attorney, which I am myself, it's nice to be able to say, I can't help you I may not be able to help you, but I can refer you to someone who might be able to, who you would have the resources to afford. So that's what Middle Georgia Justice offers to attorneys in Macon, that resource. Macon Bar Association is so excited to support Middle Georgia Justice for its Taste of Justice event.